Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm Lucas and welcome back to another PSGL League Racing video here on the channel. Today we have Silverstone, round 6 of season 34, my favourite track. And yeah, if you are wondering why there is a jump between round 4 and round 6 to round 6 on this channel, it's because Hungary wasn't really a race for us. We didn't even do qualifying. We were actually racing from the McLaren Technology Centre. We didn't have time to prepare for the race. We just sort of jumped in without being able to make qualifying, started at the back and get taken out in lap 1. So yeah, I've just saved you guys an entire video. So without further ado, let's look into our first run of Q1. So yeah, going through Sector 1 now. It was actually quite a clean execution through there. We have a 9-7-3 split, which is actually pretty respectable for Q1. Car just wants to sometimes glide away from Brooklyn, sorry. We get the car tucked in pretty nicely through Luffield though, and then you want to save the distance through Woodcote, coming through the National start-finish straight, which I literally was driving past 2 days ago as I record this, in a GB4 car, which is still nuts to say. But yeah, heading through Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel for the first time. Nice and clean through there actually. So this is turning out to be a pretty solid first run of Q1 so far. Yeah, not obviously perfect, but certainly not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Not quite getting the apex that store though, so we've left a bit on the table there. But we have one more chicane to negotiate as we go through Vale and Club. Holding 4th gear, getting on the power and to the line, and that'll be a 24.581, which should be, yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, good job.
And with confirmation from Anton, yeah, we are more than through with that on the one run. Wilson as well, our teammate, through with just the one run. We were 1 and 2 after the opening run, so that was a great start and gave us a good feeling going into the rest of qualifying. So heading through Abbey and then Farm Curve, holding 7th gear. That was just my personal preference. Then 4th down to 3rd eventually. Quite slow in the downshift. We were holding 3rd through here. Sometimes I like to go 2nd through there, but it really just depends on how you get that entry and where in the corner you require rotation. But yeah, going through Sector 1, we are marginally quicker than we were in Q1. A little bit of understeer. We're having to swing the car over to the left a bit more than we would have liked from the transition between Brooklands and Luffield. And now heading through Woodcote onto the start-finish straight of the National Pits, chucking it into Cops. Easy flat on this year's game, holding 8th gear through there. You're somewhat between gears. Sometimes you want 7th, but 8th seems to work quite nicely, at least for us. The Maggots, Beckett's, and then we completely miss Chapel, which is, yeah, that will have cost us quite a chunk of time. We're only half a tenth up on our Q1 split through there, so we lost quite a chunk in this middle sector, but we do at least make the apex of Stowe. Heading into the last chicane now to try and round out this lap, make it something that we could at least bank on. Nicely executed through the chicane, just getting on the power, but that mistake might cost us a little bit of time. We go P1 with a 5-0. And we did get through with the one run, as you can see. So yeah, thankfully that mistake didn't cost us a set of tyres. So yeah, now we are in the business end of qualifying. It is Q3 now, and we are beginning our first run. We didn't need to do any old runs with the used tyres. We are yeah, getting straight into it. So heading into Sector 1 now, heavy on the brakes. Nicely making it to the apex, swinging it over to the right for the loop, opting to use 2nd gear as we went in with a bit more of an angle, a bit deeper into the corner, just try and get the car tucked back in to the loop. Then we flat through Aintree and onto the Wellington straight, chucking it in past the 50-metre board. We get into the apex quite nicely. We run a bit deeper than we'd have liked though, down to 3rd, just trying again tuck the car back into the apex, and now we save the distance through Woodcote and into Cops. Now this is you can actually lose a bit of time through Cops if you do not execute it the right way, and then you want to bring the car over to the right momentarily before you open it up flat through Maggots, then into Beckett's, and then into Chapel. And it was relatively clean through there, no major dramas. It's a 4-4-1 split, which you can see I'm shaking my head because I felt like we had a bit more that we could have extracted, but heading into the final sector, a bit of a late apex, so not quite carrying that entry momentum through Stowe, but we have one more chicane to negotiate. How do we do? Oh, we take a good chunk of speed out of the car there, so not a phenomenal entry to that last chicane, but we're going to cross the line now with a 0.28, and it is going to set us up to be P1 after the first runs, but we have one more run to execute, and we felt that we needed to improve. We didn't think that lap time was going to be good enough for pole, so we have one more run to try and execute, and we knew we had what it took to put it on pole position, so now it was about just, yeah, putting it all together when it mattered. So heading into sector 1, we were so close to hitting that sausage curb. That was actually a bit too early through there, so we were very, very, very on the limit in turn 3, but we managed to get ahead with a marginally better delta. So we got away with it in sector 1. We're doing 8.8 sector 1, which is more than respectable. Getting the car nice and tucked in through Brooklands, and then holding 4th gear this time through Luffield, and we do gain a little bit on the exit, so now we can start building the momentum through the lap to try and chip away at what we can gain. Now chucking it into to Cops, I nearly said Stowe. 300's up, thankfully not losing our, well, we would have liked to have gained, but thankfully not losing. But then we're coming through Maggots, then Beckett's, holding 8th a little bit longer, then getting the car tucked in really nicely, getting the power on, and we are now gaining time through the sector split. We're on a 3-7 split, so the lap's looking pretty alright at this point. But we've now got just a few corners to negotiate. Nicely done through Stowe, losing a little bit in the exit, but we know we've got a bit of time in this last chicane, a bit better on that entry, a little bit weak through this exit though, not really getting onto the power, but we're coming to the line. Come on!
Nice, nice.
I come for Jano.
Wait for it.
It's side for Jano.
Yes, baby! Let's go!
Come on.
Finally a quality that goes sweet!
Nice!
Oh! So there we have it, we managed to put it on pole position. Thankfully a nice and clean executed Q3, and yeah, not too shabby, but as we know in this game, pole position actually doesn't mean as much as it used to. The races are where it's all at. So here we are on the softs, 5 red lights on your screen, and away we go, getting a nice smooth initial phase, picking up the throttle, small bit of wheel spin, but we get away nice and cleanly off of the line into turn 1 for the first of 26 times. Jarno immediately having a look up our inside, going into Village, so we're just going to hold it round the outside, hold that line, and that is us safely through the opening couple of corners into the lead, and now it's just about getting our head down and straight into a rhythm. So with the top 5 are myself, Jarno, Danny Beresny, crucially Jarno's teammate, albeit he's in the Haas. Danny and Jarno are both Mercedes eSports drivers for this year, and yeah, Barry in P4 and Otis in P5. So yeah, top 5 on softs. I think that was the predominant strategy in this race, and yeah, presuming most people are going to go onto the medium tyres at some point in this race, but yeah, no point in us trying to burn energy at this point in the race, as you can see, because it is quite frankly impossible to pull away in this type of grid, in this type of field, with the slipstream and the DRS and the ERS and all that jazz round, especially a track like this. We're sitting behind is almost where you want to be. You know, you can take it easier on your fuel, your ERS, even your tyres. It's completely different to drive, even in terms of your driving style when you're behind, with the way you sort of set the car up balance-wise. So, yeah. We had a momentary thought that there might have been a safety car with some of the yellow flags in the end, but thankfully that didn't come to anything. And yeah, skipping on to lap 4 now, it is as you were with the order. Our battery is still nice and high. We were just, you know, managing ourselves out front, but now Jarno has decided to close up a little bit, and we assume he is going to decide to take the move down the straight. We don't even bother to try and defend, we just leave him the space, and yeah, we don't waste our time, we just yeah, get on with it. So yeah, just the usual stuff in this opening stint, you know, bit of trading positions, bit of back and forth, so yeah, nothing bad there whatsoever. So skipping on to lap 7, we are probably going to be returning the favour on this lap. The top 5 is pretty much as you were, just with Jarno and I swapping positions out front. Battery still nice and high, so yeah, this was us just trying to essentially make the pace of the race as naturally as quick as possible without costing ourselves time. You know, this was all just yeah, us managing ourselves in this opening stint. But skipping on to lap 10, not lap 10, lap 9 now. You can see Jarno well, he's actually 4.5 tenths back, but yeah, again, we have got a really high amount of battery, but we can see Jarno using a bit now, so he has decided this time, this isn't him taking the lead just because it was, you know, of convenience to not lose time. This is him using actively to get in the lead, so this is now him blasting his energy a little bit on this lap, on here on lap 10, and this made us think he was going to be boxing at the end of this lap. So we managed to at least keep our energy high. Jarno boxes on lap 10, and yeah, as does Danny Berezny as well, I believe. Barry staying out along with Otis behind, and now you can see we are straight on that ERS button. We are going to be pushing massively on this in lap. You can see we actually used quite a lot of battery on this in lap because we wanted to try and come out in as best a possible position after the stops. We were really slow in that pit entry though, so that was quite poor of me in the end. But at the end of the day, it didn't make sense to take any silly risks. So yeah, we just played the percentages on that one. But yeah, we're going to be going on to a set of the medium tyres now, and we're going to try and rejoin as best we can relative to where Jarno and Danny Berezny were. Of course, those were the two cars, the two teammates actually, that boxed on the lap before. And actually, now that I think of it, it's quite good they're in different cars because they wouldn't have been able to pit in the same lap if they were. So yeah, the two teammates now, where we're going to rejoin relative to them. And it's going to be just behind. Maybe that pit entry cost us a little bit, but to be honest, I don't think it would have cost us anything in the grand scheme of things. Simply from the fact that on your outlap, for us anyway, you have to get your tyres a little bit up to temperature. So yeah, rejoining now in a net P3, chucking it into Brooklands for the first time on the mediums, and we actually lose the rear a little bit, just as the grip isn't quite there. So we're actually going to have to waste a bit of energy because of that mistake, which was not ideal. We wanted to try and keep our battery as high as humanly possible.
P2 then, net P2.
Heading into the second sector, but we actually hit the grass on the inside, just trying to, well, just not being used to having grip again. So yeah, we're going to have to waste even more energy to defend from Nicholas Longue behind, which is, yeah, far from ideal from us. And yeah, Danny Berezny and Jarno Otmi are now up ahead. Is Danny Berezny going to make a move? Yes, he is. So yeah, the teammates trading positions ahead of us, and we're actually down to 20% battery, which is probably 20% lower than it needed to be without those mistakes. So yeah, not a really good opening outlap from us on those mediums, but we're on lap 13 now, and as you can see, we're starting to close in on Jarno ahead through the Magus Beckett's Chapel complex. So tyres starting to come in now, and now Jarno trading the place back to P1 from his teammate Danny Berezny ahead. So yeah, we're at the halfway point in this race now, and you can see there we are just lifting, trying to bring our battery back up now. As we go into lap 14, we're right on the back of Danny Berezny, but we do not have any intention of attacking at this point. The number one priority for us was to, well, mainly recharge the battery, as we were going to need it come the end of this race, or to try and get up the position up to P2 if, and only if, an opportunity arose where we didn't have to waste our resources, as the cars ahead had practically a maximum battery, given they performed the undercut. So whereas I used battery, they saved it. So yeah, we are just trying to manage these things as this race sort of progresses. Heading on now to lap 15, and Jarno Otmi are now taking the lead back as we progress. Yeah, just progress onwards. There's a bit of a trade back and forth, but now on lap 17, you can see we've got our battery back up a little bit, which is good, and we are just trying to manage our pace behind Danny Berezny and Jarno Otmi, who seem to be sort of working in tandem, just trying to, you know, swap the positions back and forth as is necessary, as is when needed. or as when needed, whatever way you want to word it. But you can see Danny opting not to overtake Jarno, so we're going to have a little look round the outside. We're going to send it, and we're really far alongside, so we're going to try and hang it around the outside, but we get left no quarter there on the exit. We gave it a good damn go, trying to be opportunistic without wasting battery, but we got shown the door quite firmly there. So yeah, that is just the way the cookie crumbles on that one, unfortunately. Yeah, felt like I was far enough alongside, but yeah, it didn't quite work out in the end. So yeah, on to lap 18 now. You can just see though there just how much we are lifting and coasting. And on to lap 22 now. The battery is back. We have our energy back, and yeah, we want to now start to think about trying to make our way into P2, because sitting P3 is not a good place for us to be. So you can see now we are much closer to Danny Berezny at this point in the lap than we had been at any previous point in the start. You can see me flashing the back, so we're going to have a little look up the inside. I say a little look, a big look up the inside going into Village. We're going to try and go over the cutback through the loop as we get a little bit of a look, but we just pick up the stupid marbles in the apex, which just costs us that ability just to power on going through the loop. So no can do through there. We have a little bit of a feint up the inside. Onto lap 23, we actually get really close to Danny Berezny, right behind him there. But yeah, we have 3.5 laps left to go, so it's very much in our interest to try and get past Danny Berezny now. It's going to be crucial for our race to try and, if we want to try and win this race, we need to make this overtake. So we are right on the back of him again now, heading through Chapel for the 23rd time in this race, and DRS is now open. You can see they are using ahead. I am, on and off the energy, but Danny Berezny opts not to overtake, but he goes up to the inside, so we're going to try that move exactly again, round the outside. We get it fully alongside, we hold it just within the track limits, and we get the move done, going through Stowe round the outside. A nice move to get ourselves into P2, and that was so important for our race, because now it is head to head with Jarno, and thankfully we have the tyre advantage, but we do not have the energy advantage. Jarno had about 20% more energy than us, so we needed to try and pick our moments wisely. And yeah, we have now 2 laps to decide how we're going to be doing this. So yeah, I'm nice and close to Jarno now, so I decide to use a little bit of energy and go up the inside and take the lead while I can, as it's basically for free at this point. So yeah, we take the lead, have a little bit of a wobble there actually, but yeah, now it is sort of a game of chess as to how we're going to actually maintain or hold these positions. So yeah, heading now through Cops, Jarno 2 tenths behind, so yeah, you can see he's closing up quite a bit there, so odds are he's going to be making another move down this straight to try and get the position back, which is okay. We use a little bit of ERS, but mainly in defence in case that we get overtaken by not just Jarno but also Otis, but we didn't actually need to use the energy, but that was more of just a precautionary thing. But Jarno takes the move up the inside on the penultimate lap, but now we've just got to figure out exactly where we want to overtake or try and overtake Jarno, as he has the energy advantage but we have the tyre advantage, so we just need to make sure we have enough energy to make it stick on this last lap. So here we are now, one more time round Silverstone to try and decide who's going to win this PSGL race, and yeah, we are stuck to the back of Jarno heading through sector 1 for the last time. He is a little bit wide going through there into the village complex out of the loop. Now we are really close to the back of him. He is on 80%, he has a 25% ERS advantage on this lap, but we need to try and make him use a little bit of that if we can. So we have a little look up the inside, not to really overtake though, we're just trying to fight him as hard as we can. We see a gap and we slither up the inside. Cheeky of us to try and make that gap work, and we thankfully get left the space from Jarno there, so big respect for the very clean racing on this last lap. But now we have made him use an extra 20% of energy, so now the deficit is much smaller. So this is looking good for us now if we can just hold it close through this Maggots, Beckett, Chapel Complex on one more time. We actually lose the rear there, so we lose a little bit of distance, but we get the DRS open, we get the ERS on, we're in the slipstream, we are blasting it, going down this straight for the last time, we pull alongside, and we are clear through Stowe into the lead on this last lap. And yeah, now we just have to hold it clean for a few more corners, and we will be taking the win in PSGL around Silverstone.
Yeah, GG's, Lucas.
And yeah, we timed it right, we nailed the quali, we've nailed the race.
Yeah, buddy, come on!
Let's go!
Let's go, boys.
Woo!
Race.
That was
I
tough.
didn't know.
GG Arno. GG.
Clinical on Danny.
Yeah, nice one, Lucas. Nice win, bro.
And there we have it, P1. Yeah, which was really, really sweet. Nice to, yeah, get a win around my favourite track. Yeah, it's always more enjoyable when you get to drive, you know, tracks such as this, when it's just, you know, really, really fun, enjoyable, high speed, and especially to race on as well. And yeah, a massive GG to Jarno on another really clean and respectful battle, which is always something that you enjoy, especially after, I mean, Mexico was a bit of a mess last time we raced it in WR, so to have a nice clean race for the lead again was really, really enjoyable, so big respect. And GG to Jarno and to the podium. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this PSGL League Racing video. Yeah, like and subscribe and comment what you thought down below. Yeah, and big thank you as well for the support recently. It has not gone unnoticed. Yeah, it really warms my heart with the... yeah, seeing the channel progress a little bit. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this content. Have a great rest of your day. I hope you're all doing well, and until next time, guys, take care. I love you all. Ciao.